Okay, remember they're changing my voice. So some of you might think that they might try to defend themselves by saying that they're trying to prevent a terrorist attack. Well, the timeline simply does not support this. First of all, we have no videos on YouTube that are posted after, um, two, before 2012. However, there were videos that were posted before 2012, and they were not violent in nature. Okay, there was no um, angry arguments being made to that effect. Their provocations and insistence on discrediting me and trying to pretend that I'm crazy, okay, predates any videos discussing any sort of violent activity. Okay, not to mention the provocations that occurred before 2009. So in 2011, there was an incident in my house in February, right? It's the beginning of the year, okay, February, around February 26th or so. It was on the anniversary of my uncle's death, if I remember correctly. Um, Basically, my older brother had grabbed my arms, and because I was yelling in my room and I was pissed off about something, keep in mind I'm yelling in my room on a household in a house on like 15 acres in unincorporated Morgan Hill in the middle of nowhere. So I'm not a threat to anybody. He took it upon himself to insist that he grab my arms, okay, and he pushed me through the door, which broke the top lock on the door as I went through, as a very superficial lock I had there, just to know if anyone's been in my room, kind of thing. Long story. Um, and I had chicken wings on a plate that I had just cooked, and I was very hungry. I was what's called hangry, right? Hungry and angry. And I drop the plate on my floor, which is a hardwood floor at the time, and it shattered, and those chicken wings all over the floor, right? Maybe a dozen or so, something like that. Okay, sauce on them, right? Not thoroughly cooked, so the sauce is all over the place. Okay, so as a result, my parents called the police um, over this matter, and the government had been putting pressure on them, to crack down on me for political activities before this. Okay, and that was no secret. My dad is in a relationship with law enforcement that it predates this incident. Okay, and of course he's a doctor, so that overkills it. So when the police came, they ignored the broken lock. I said, look, there's a broken lock right there. It proves my story. There's chicken wings and a broken plate. He says, I'm not going to look there. I don't see any chicken wings. And the guy starts acting like an asshole. Okay? So you can imagine that would piss you the fuck off if they're trying to pretend that you're in the wrong, okay, when you were assaulted first. Okay? And under no circumstances should somebody assault you over what you were yelling in your room. That's fucking outrageous. I never heard of that. That's not okay. Okay? You can't just grab somebody and fucking start a fight with them because you don't like what you hear in the room, where they're pissed off about something. And then where you go to vent your anger, logically, is your room. If you don't go to vent your anger in the room, fuck do you go? You know what I'm saying? You imagine some dickhead pig acting like I'm wrong about this? Stupid as hell. So that incident is recorded in the police records unless they remove it. Okay? And I have evidence of that to some degree in my videos as well. That's when the videos start escalating. Okay, is when law enforcement starts a campaign of persecuting me with their allies on the internet. Okay, so they try to provoke me and then try to say, hey, you're crazy. And they try to provoke me. And one time there was a cop, by my road. He was trying to initiate a single combat with me while he was armed with a gun. Okay, over my videos. Okay, and I just drove home. I'm like, man, this crazy racist white cop. You know what I'm saying? Um, I'm not gonna fucking pull over and fucking, answer his threats while he's driving by and get fucking shot for no reason. You know what I'm saying? While I'm not armed. You know what I'm saying? Would you? Okay? So they had a history of provoking me to anger and then saying, hey, he's a threat to himself and others, and trying to play me out as fucking crazy. You see what I'm saying? And so that drastically and dramatically predates any videos that are arguing, that are promoting um, armed revolution or anything to that effect. Okay, which are few and far between, and I've overkilled that I've been for peaceful resistance for quite some time now. Okay, So they have nowhere near the justification. Now, some of you say, well, you got angry and you said some things on the internet. Okay, what about the countless guys who beat their wives, the countless criminals out there with criminal histories? What about the countless political activists with violent criminal histories? You're telling me it's okay to zoom in on me? Now, let's not forget that before I even started making videos, okay, people in hate groups who's affiliated with law enforcement were harassing me growing up. Okay? I mean, let's not forget that. So what you can substantiate definitively proves that they've been provoking me. Okay? Now, if these motherfuckers are so bitch that they can't handle me, my freedom of speech, why don't they get a bunch of money together and say, hey, we'll give you $1 million to move? Why don't they do that? But instead, they resorted to the racist hate group campaign against me. Okay? And YouTube, I'm sure, has a record of countless comments, and I put some of my videos of hate group comments, racist comments. So you're telling me it's okay for law enforcement to collaborate with their code of silence hate groups and to provoke me? And then fucking when I get mad, say, hell, let's lock him up. You know what I'm saying? And in spite of all this, I'm 41 years old. Listen carefully. 41 years old. With no violent criminal history. None. Where is it? I'd love to see it. I have no criminal record. So you're telling me, in spite of provocations that their investigation must show, I have no violent criminal behavior. And they think that they should fucking zoom in on me with all the black cars and shit. You see what I'm saying? Fucking retarded. You see how I'm getting angry right now, even talking about the provocation? That's called the normal human response, dickhead. If you think it's not, okay, go get a bunch of fucking psychologists and bootlicking cowards and have them make their fucking case. I'd love to hear that fucking shit. So real quickly, make this on the road before they start filming me again heavily. They film me a little bit on the road, but they seem to not do it so much, to not interfere with my driving so much or something. So we look at what's going on. It's really the historical, practice of the political abuse, the social club abuse, of society for sexual control, what have you. The Klan was very much concerned with sexual control. If you're in a small town, say in Mississippi, and you filed a complaint, it didn't matter, what law enforcement agency you went to, or if you called the FBI, the whole system was rigged for white supremacy, and they would consider the social and political repercussions of responding to that complaint. And based on that is whether or not, you got justice. So the system is not geared to handle racial harassment campaigns unless somebody's in a political group with friends in high places or something, or some political group has something to gain from it. Okay, but it is thoroughly equipped to suppress, complaints of racist campaigns. So America isn't just a racist country. It is organized racism. It is scientific racism. It is calculated fraternity, social club, gentleman's club, lobby group, corporate racism, right? Why are institutions racist? Because the social clubs and networks that control those institutions, impress upon the entire staff that they better uphold certain forms of racism. If somebody's calling you the N-word left and right, they'll probably respond to that. But if somebody is expressing their freedom of speech in a way that is honest about religion, about social life, about sexual control, about the rape problem, what you might call a whistleblower, but a more sophisticated, more intelligent version of that, a more a longer term version. It's my political movement, it's my social movement, it's my life mission to do right, and there's serious racial implications on the injustices in society, in regards to the injustices in society. So when someone takes that route, society just clamps down on them in the name of white supremacy, and you see black people themselves turn a blind eye. They don't want to lose their job. They don't want to be blacklisted. They don't want to be targeted, blackballed. They don't want to lose their social club position. They don't want to lose whatever token minority privilege they have. And if they're poor and they're barely keeping their head above the water, they don't want to, face repercussions there.